Hey there, I'm Melissa.
And I'm Nadia.
Welcome to Navigating New Ground, where we dive into real, honest conversations about navigating life's transitions away from home.
We're here to share our journeys, hear yours, and remind you that no one has to navigate new ground alone. So, today's episode is part of our Navigating Culture series, a conversation about the culture shocks we faced while living in Germany.
And we are very, very grateful to have a very special guest with us, Queena. She's joining us also from Germany, but from a different city in Una. Queena also studied architecture like us, but is currently transitioning out of this industry and slowly into IT. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello,
Do you
hello.
like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I try not to laugh because this is my first time. And then when I see the long introduction, I was like, okay, what should I do? And then, okay, my name is Queena. After living in Germany for 5 years, I changed myself straight away from extrovert to introvert.
Wow.
You can actually tell I was very extrovert before when I was in Malaysia, but in Germany, I'm totally introvert.
Mm,
Yeah, so that's how I think um the character I'm like right now. Yeah, introvert Queena in Germany.
but then if you travel back home, do you switch again to an extrovert?
It's very hard. I mean, last time it wasn't that. I mean, I becomes not that talkative. Don't know
Mm,
why. Yeah.
Or maybe it's
interesting.
also due to us growing up and becoming more matured.
Also possible.
German is very sensitive to voice. I'm not sure if you realize it. My colleague they always complain, so loud. Wieso so loud? Then like the Baustelle, we always have Baustelle or the neighbors they cut the grass or something, and then they always complain. But actually for me in Malaysia it's okay because we have so many Baustelle in Malaysia. In just normal. And
The
now
life
I
is very peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it really is because you're in a different environment. So it changed your personality too. Can you tell us a bit about how you decided to come to Germany,
oh
what your journey has been like the past few years?
that's a super long story.
You can
um
summarize it.
okay, try to. I mean, when I was young, study abroad was my dream. It
Hmm.
was actually Tsinghua University I am to go. And then one day, my ex's boss, he was like asking why Tsinghua, and then I was like go off to the list of Tsinghua this there, and Tsinghua is perfect. And then he was like, no. In his opinion, he think like any university will from Europe or US is better than Asia.
Mm.
And then I was like, no, I can't even speak English properly. And why? I still, I'm not going to learn a new languages. And then he was like, the tuition is free. Then I was like, okay, I go. Since it's free, then I don't do any research for Tsinghua anymore. Just focusing in Germany, and I start learning German.
Mm.
Yes,
But the
that's the
tuition
story.
fee, the tuition fee is not actually free.
But then Tsinghua is more expensive.
Yeah.
Tsinghua is
For sure.
100,000 renminbi, something like that. I forget, but roughly like that
Mm.
for
Yeah.
master.
Yeah. No, German school fees are definitely very low in comparison to other
Yeah,
places. Yeah.
Yeah.
people love free stuff. I mean, me too. Especially free educations.
So today we are going to talk about culture. So of course we will start with this very first topic. What is your first culture shock? Do any of you remember your first culture shock?
Yeah. Me or Nadia?
Anyone?
You can go first.
Okay. When I first got here, I already knew the life in Germany is slow, chill. But I didn't expect I mean, it was a Sunday. I forget, but in Dessau, and there's no one in on the street, no cars, no people. I was like, oh, okay, I'm now in a ghost town or what? And no shops open on Sunday. That's very inconvenient for me. But then you know what? When you go grocery on Monday, and then the cashier, they are super fast. So contrast. I thought it's gonna be chill, and then why am I so stressed whenever I go shopping? Because you have to get your cart ready, and then you start a race with the cashier people because they are too fast to packing your no. You have to pack your thing very fast, and then because they just be the thing very fast.
Yeah, it's true. It makes
Wow.
you very stressed actually when you're doing grocery shopping.
I think that was also my impression, especially when I arrived. But thank God I arrived with two other friends in Dessau, and it was during the day. So dragging the whole luggage across the pebble roads, it's so difficult. That was already like my first impression, like because everything is pebbles and you have to. It's not a smooth road to drag your luggage as normal. And then, yeah, like you say, during the evenings, the streets are empty. Not like late evening, but 7 p.m. It's already super quiet. No one is on the street. And if you see someone, you are not even sure if it's a good thing because you don't know if that's someone or not.
Actually, I'm not consider that's why it's a door for something. It's why?
Yeah, it's actually a city.
Yeah.
I think for me it was the digitalization. So we were talking about 2016, which was 8 years ago. And then I was coming from Singapore, which is a very modern, fast-paced city, and everything is electrical. And then I arrived in Berlin for the first time, and I had to buy my train ticket to Dessau from the machine. Press buttons, and then you get the card, the paper card out, and then you still have to validate that paper card ticket. And for me, that was a big shock because I was used to digital cards that you tap in and tap out of an electric gate. So that was definitely one of my first shocks.
Yeah, but now you definitely can meet Carter Peter. Maybe 5 years ago you still cannot, but now
That is true.
slowly.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's crazy that it only started a few years ago. And I think because of Corona really pushed them to become more digitalized. I was very shocked because I think that time I was also very much in my bubble. So then I thought, like, even if English is not your first language, at least it's your second language. And how can you survive in this world without speaking English? So I really thought that if I moved to Germany, I wouldn't really have a problem with the language because at least they would know English as their second language. And of course, you're supposed to be open to speaking English because you can't expect everyone to speak German, but it was really completely the opposite because they really expected you to learn their language when you're going to live in their country. And yeah, for me, that was a very, very big shock. Like even going to the foreign office to do my visa as an international student, it was like they expected me to already speak German coming into the office, which I find very, very ironic, actually. That they don't allow you to speak English in a foreign office as an international student.
Yeah, that's true. Now that you talk of it, now that you speak of it, I feel the stress. It reminds me of the stress I remember when we were new. Technically, the first whole week, we are just running around from banks to foreign office, affair office, and to the. I remember one of my culture shock was that I did not know that even the electric cities and water companies, everything when you move into a new apartment, you have to start from scratch. Like in Malaysia, apartments come with furnitures, or sometimes at least they will come with certain things, especially those are for rent. But I didn't know that here everything is empty. The apartment could be not have nothing, not even lightings, and zero electricity. We have to go to the electrical company and ask them to, can you turn it on? Because
Yes.
now we are gonna live in there, and it's not like you can just turn on a switch in the apartment, the main switch on, and the meter starts running. You even get to choose different electrical company. It's not one thing. So it was so confusing for me to figure out all of these things. And yeah, that's one of my culture shock that I had moving here.
Did your apartment have a kitchen?
Thank God, yes. The first two actually also have, no, actually, throughout my 7 years here, I've moved probably 6 times. Thank God,
Wow.
everyone that I move into always have a kitchen, or we aim to find one that has a kitchen. But I know there are a lot of people who went in without a kitchen, and I have no idea how they do it. I think
Like
Nadia,
me.
yours too, right? And Queena.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was here in Munich, so at least it wasn't my first year or my first arrival in Germany that I had to experience that. After years of being here, I was prepared, mentally prepared for this to happen, but it's still very shocking actually to be in an apartment without a kitchen, especially when it's not yours. It's not something that you're buying, it's a rental property. You also had an experience, Queena?
Yes. My first apartment after moving from out from Dessau, it was totally empty. I don't even have a mattress. And then my formator was like, "Oh, pity girl, you don't have a mattress. I give you something." Then he gave me a thin mattress. Then I'm just sleeping on the floor for like one on like 3 days until my mattress reach here.
Mm. Oh, yeah, I remember you have to move your washing machine. Oh, that was also quite unbelievable.
When you
Did you
order,
about
yeah,
it?
I didn't realize when you order electronic online and without paying a extra fee, they won't help you to pick it in front of your door. When they said in front of your doorstep, it means outside the wohnung, not in front the door of your doorstep because I live in second floor. So when the thing arrived, I was shocked. I was looking at him like, can you help leave the thing out? Then he was like, no, 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 choose. I was like, what am I going to do? My neighbors, they are two old couple, so I wouldn't want to ask them for help because yeah, then I drag myself alone, one stuffer by one stuffer.
Wow, I cannot imagine how can you. I still can't imagine how you can move the whole washing machine on your own. Washing machine is one of the heaviest item.
Yeah, it is.
That time I already like, okay, I don't care. Even though I broke the washing machine, I don't really care because my mission is just don't block the hallway, get the thing up.
Yeah. Did you guys remember any embarrassing experiences? A lot.
I mean, for me, it's sauna.
Sauna.
Like we all know the stories. If you go sauna, you have to be naked. I already
Yes.
know. And then one day, I especially they are mostly mixed sauna.
Yeah.
So one day I was like, okay, no people in sauna, then maybe I can try. And then I go in alone, and then I was very enjoy and relaxed. And then suddenly there's a old man standing out of the door, and then he was like, he wanted to come in. I know because then I was like, I was praying, please, please, please don't, please, I want my me time, please. And then he stepped in, and naked. I don't want to have any eye contact with him. I try not to, but it's just, what am I supposed to do? Super awkward, and like that's my culture shock. I feel embarrassed with a naked man in a sauna alone, just me and him. Then I went out. So, have you ever tried sauna in Germany? Or do you have?
Yes.
So how was
Yes.
it?
Also very similar to yours. I mean, maybe, yeah, there was one that was rather embarrassing. It was actually during one of our friends' bachelorette party. We went to a sauna all together, a girls group, and we knew that it was going to be one of those experiences where we were all supposed to be naked, and it was a mixed sauna group. But then, because we were in a bachelorette party, we were all wearing headbands. And then we wanted to go into one of the Aufguss sessions where it's like they have a guy there or a person there that's working at the sauna to do some kind of performance. So they come in with different essential oils, and then they come with a towel, and then they whip the towel around so that the essential oils reach to every corner of the room. So I don't really know any health or scientific reasons behind doing this, but it's supposed to be a fun sauna experience. But then because there's a person that's supposed to be doing this, then they always have a time schedule for it every day. And then we wanted to go for one of them, and then it starts at 11. But we were slightly late. We were there at 11:01. So they all started complaining because they're like, the next time you attend one of these Aufguss sessions, you have to be punctual, 11, not 11:01. Then we came in with our headbands, and then they all could see that, you guys are part of a bachelorette party. So it was already such an awkward setting with everyone being naked, even though we had our towels around. But then we were getting so much attention, one for being late, and then one for being in a bachelorette party. And then we started sitting down, finding our places. And then it turns out that we were not allowed to sit on the wood of the sauna. So you have to have your towel there to make sure that you're not sweating on the wood. So if you only have one towel, it means that you're using that towel to either cover you or you're using it to put it on the wood so that you're not sweating on it. So you have a choice of either not being part of the sauna or just being naked there in front of everyone with all of the attention that you're getting. So yes, sauna experiences.
That's so funny. I think when you say about the Aufguss experience of someone performing, I was laughing so bad because I cannot imagine like I don't know, a woman or a man throwing the towel,
Yeah, really, it's like that.
like a stripper show. Is he dressed or is he also naked?
Well, he had a towel wrapped around his waist.
Okay, but it must be so funny and exciting for you girls.
It's definitely a new experience.
Especially coming from Asia, these are not a very common things that we do. My first sauna experience was actually not in Germany. My first sauna experience is actually the naked sauna experience is actually in Japan. And there I also had a culture shock. We were in Kobe, and me and one of my best friends, we rented this traditional spa hotel so that we get to go to this whole sauna and hot tub, not hot tub, like what do you call it?
The jacuzzi.
Yeah, the hot jacuzzi thing, the natural ones, the experience. So we want to experience that on top of the mountain with the cold winter weather. And of course, me and my friend, we've never seen each other naked. We feel so awkward. And then we had to, we were so shy. And the towel that they gave us that you are allowed to bring in is not a towel, it's a handkerchief. This big. And
So
we were thinking like, where do you cover one boob? We were just quite embarrassed. But then they said, okay, because inside is full of fog, it's very foggy. So the steam actually blurred all the view, you can't really see much. So you say like, okay, you'll go in first, and 5 minutes later I'll come. So by the time I come in, you are already in the water, so that we don't really like see each other. So I went in first, and because there's no one there, I just keep telling myself, okay, no one knows, you just walk in. And when I walk in, I remember there's two ajuma, two old lady, one older than the other, and they weren't just enjoying their spa. The moment I step in, they are both looking at me from top to bottom, scanning through every body parts. And I feel so awkward. At least it's separated into guy and girl. So in the room, in the hall, I know there's only women. But they're eyeing me from up to down and then right to the bottom. Makes me feel so self-conscious. And I just try to quickly go into the water and then, not look at my friend when she comes in. And the moment she comes in, I can see like that two lady is also doing that to her. And we feel so embarrassed. But the whole sauna experience was really good because we then also go outdoor. where they have two hot tubs, and then we just looking towards the whole mountain view. But if you go closer to the railing at the edge, then if you stick your head out, you can actually see the guy area. So we try not to go too close to that, because or else it will see us. But I think for them, it's probably very normal. It's just for us, it's not.
For Malaysia, because Malaysia is already like a sauna. We don't really need a sauna. That's why for us. And it never happened. It will never happen with the mix bathtub or something. It's not gonna happen.
Yes. Yeah. So saunas. But apart from that, any other culture shocks, especially when you started working?
Yeah, I didn't know actually on your birthday you have to bring cake yourself. Cause in Malaysia I was always waiting. Okay, on my birthday, what my boss gonna do or celebrate my birthday? But here no, and even when you enroll to the company, you start your job in the company, you have to bring something like kuchen. I didn't know it, but luckily I start my work with another colleague and he did it. So the next day I brought something.
Actually, now that you mentioned that, I just started a new job and I didn't do anything. And then I started working with someone on the same day, and then he also didn't do anything. But I wonder if the tradition is actually slowly dying out a little bit over time. And I think somehow in Munich, at least, I feel like they don't follow these traditions so closely in my two experiences here.
But I actually find this experience really good. I mean, of course, it's a hassle when you are the one doing it, but that's how I learned to bake cakes. I never really been baking cakes in Malaysia, but I remember the first year I started in September, but then no, in October, when because my birthday is in May, so I had to bring a cake, and I knew it in advance that I have to bring one. So 1 month before my birthday, I was already practicing how to bake a cake. And I know they are more appreciative when you bake the own cake instead of buying it. So I was trying very hard, and some of my friends here had been my
Tester.
lab rat in testing the cakes. And there was one thing that I did so funny is the first time I tried to bake a carrot cake, I was weighing all the ingredients, and then I was so confident to put all the things in, was very excited to see how it turned out, turn on the oven, and then mix everything in and then put it into the oven. And then I was cleaning up. And as I was cleaning up, I was washing one bowl at a time, and then I saw like, what is this one whole bowl of white stuff? This is the flour that I didn't forget in. And the cake is already baking in the oven for like 10 minutes. And then I had to, oh no, does it still work? Does it still okay? And I took it out and I just poured the flour in and just mix it all roughly and then put it back into the oven, pretending that nothing happens. But that is the trial one, so I wasn't so scared. But I was bringing that cake to a friend's place so that they can try. Anyways, I didn't tell them about it. And then because the cake turned out really well. And then when it's finally my birthday, the day before, I bake it again. And this time I made sure I put the flour in early. And then end up I was mixing in too much. So in the end, the cake, if you know baking, if the cake, the batter, you mix it too much after you add in the flour, it wouldn't raise. And so like it won't rise to the fluffiness of the cake. So in the end, it became like a kueh, of course, don't know what is kueh, but I know. And in the end, the carrot cake was like really like kueh, the green kueh thing, like spongy kind of texture. But still, they love it so much because it was self-made, and also they thought it's like a Malaysian specialty.
Was it or not? No.
No, I was supposed to bake a carrot cake like a normal German carrot cake. And so I didn't correct them as well. I kept it to myself. And the cake was finished before lunchtime.
That's great. I think my
Mm,
first, I think I made is pineapple tart.
Mm.
Yeah,
You made
and
that for the whole office.
mm, it
Wow.
told me like the whole night, 3 4 hours, because you have to shape it. And I bought the mold, like ananas mold, so it looks like an ananas. Yeah, they said it's an artwork. Yeah, because the shape.
Wow.
I think I tried one of those too from you. It tastes really nice.
Yeah, that one is without mold. I think last time because too much work. Just one time. After that, I'm not using the mold anymore. Too much work.
I think one of the culture shocks that I had in the office, especially on the very first day, was having to greet everyone outside when you go for lunch. Then you guys never experienced that?
No, mud side. Yeah.
Not really. I experienced it when I was working in the factory in Germany.
Mm-hmm. I
Because
did
outside
hear,
is the break time. We were so happy to hear
yes,
that word.
yes, yes. But then I just found it weird that there was a greeting for everything that you do here. It's like you go for your lunch break, and then usually in Malaysia or in Singapore, we just tell everyone, okay, let's go for lunch. And then everyone goes as a group together to eat something together. But then here it's like you see people leaving their desks and then walking through the entire office saying outside. And then you go to the
Yeah.
kitchen and then they're all greeting each other. So that was interesting for the first day.
Even you go off, you have to save like schönen Tag noch, schönen Feierabend.
Yeah, bis morgen.
Bis morgen. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
These are one of the things that I really like. Greeting,
Mm,
good morning, good. I really like the word schöner Feierabend or Feierabend. It means celebrating your evening, and I think this word celebrating your evening is so valuable, so precious, because life is not just about work. Go celebrate your evening. I
yeah,
really
it's
enjoy
true.
it when people say that.
Mm.
I
And
feel
then
like the job culture in Germany, they are more
yeah,
relaxed, not
true.
so stressful. It's just stress. It's just not that kind of stress, putting you 100% in work, even though you are not working, you have to think of it. But it's like if you out of job, then you don't need to think of it anymore.
That is true.
Yeah, one of the thing I respect and also appreciate is that they do not call your personal number.
Mm-hmm.
So my bosses, yeah, they do have my number, but they never call it. Even I'm on leave or whether if I'm sick or on ulap, they never call this number, and that's the culture here that is very different. I mean, okay, I was lucky that the previous offices that I work in Malaysia doesn't do that as well. But I know of many friends whose bosses still text them and write to them late into the night, 10 p.m. or even really late, and especially on the weekends. So this one I
Yes.
am very grateful of, that here they it's not a right thing to do that.
Mm,
Here they take it as like you are you are asking too much if you text people on, and being rude if you're texting people on weekend.
yeah.
When I text my colleagues even about non-working stuff, they reply me only on Monday.
Yeah. It's the boundaries. And then I feel like that's something that I learned here. So I'm actually very thankful to experience that because I think I also learned to say no from this culture here in Germany, especially at work. There was one time I saw a colleague around our age, and she was asked to do something, or she was asked if she can take on an extra responsibility, and she just said no to an older colleague of hers and someone that has more authority than her. And then when I saw that for the first time, especially in my first year of work here, I was so shocked that she said no to the colleague. And then I realized over time, and then I had to learn over time as well, that actually it's a healthy way of setting your boundaries, that you are allowed to say no. And I'm thankful for that.
Anything that
Sorry.
you have learned, Queena, through all of this culture shock?
Actually, yeah. Especially in office culture. So if you have problem, you don't need to be afraid to point it out. So when I was in Malaysia, I always have this kind of I'm afraid to point it out, and I want to settle it low profile, without
Yes.
telling anyone that I already done this. But here it's totally the other way. When they see the problem, they won't just avoid it. They walk on it. They walk through it, solve it, and then go to the next. I think
Yes.
back then I was like, we skip this, we move to the next verse without solving the previous issue. That's what I learned. And even though you have a conflict during in the discussion and group meeting, but they forget after that. That's work. But it's not, they won't take it in person. Yeah. But I think in Malaysia I can feel if you have conflict in the group,
Yes.
then you cannot survive anymore, and you might need to think maybe you leave the office, or it's very hard, the atmosphere change.
I think it's also case by case basis. Not, I think there are more and more offices in Malaysia that are currently more open and more structured in a way that they do to talk about conflicts when it comes to like between colleagues or between superior. I've heard a lot from my siblings that they share that they actually could um, approach their manager or what to talk about the conflicts that they have or the concerns that they have in certain things, situations, and yeah. But I guess since young we are being more into that mindset that don't talk about it and or like it's as if it's a bad thing. But yeah, we also do learn from here. I don't know if it's due to the culture, probably a certain percentage, but I think it's also due to me being here all alone. Have to learn how to be very independent. So back home, we always have our parents and our siblings and our friends who can do things with you together. And so I don't have to think so much. But coming here, being alone, I've learned that there's always, it's you who has to decide what comes. If you agree to do certain work, means you have to spend that time being there. And when everyone is else are not spending the time in the office late, and you're the only one there, can you live with it or not? But if you don't voice out, then you have to do it. But if you voice out, then it's actually okay to voice out because that's how everyone else are not there as well, because they voice out and say like they have something to do on weekends, they can't exception, and it is okay to not make this exception. You don't need to feel obliged to it.
Yeah.
I actually like my office currently because I only work half day for Friday. So I have earlier schönes Feierabend.
Schöne Wochenende.
A schönes Wochenende. I really appreciate, because I think I have more time for the thing for myself.
For sure. There's a better work-life balance here, for sure. But is that because you work more from Mondays to Thursdays, so you can leave earlier on Friday? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you work more than 8 hours?
It's just make sure I work 40 hours per week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also something that I find very good. They really look into the hours very attentively. Every hour you jot down what do you do, and then you count like 40 hours, and that's it. And here, I find it funny. One thing that surprises me that in certain offices, if you want to do Überstunde, if you want to work overtime, you have to ask for permission. And they actually do not encourage you to work overtime because every extra hours are supposed to be paid for, unless you have a different contract. In certain cases, there are contracts that states like if you work overtime for a certain amount of hours, these hours are not counted as overtime. So the payment rate only starts after this accumulated hour. For example, certain contract can be 10 hours of overtime before, meaning the 11 hours, the 11th hour only start counting that is being paid. Yeah.
I think another concept is like I learned from my colleague that thing, if you keep doing overtime, which means you are not efficient enough, They actually
Mm.
don't like people who always work overtime because they don't think you use the time efficient. You are not efficient enough.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is so
actually.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think from the boss view, it's like they afraid that you miss you. So
Also,
Überstunden this
yes.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so different from what I've heard from my friends who are working in Malaysia. If
So
you don't
true.
work overtime, you are lazy.
Yeah, it's true.
Or if you don't work overtime, you are incompetent, something like that.
Or you don't care enough about your job. Yeah.
I remember the first time the first week I started working here, I didn't dare to leave early, even though I really have nothing to do. I was just waiting till my boss to leave. And then I think towards the last end of the week, my boss was always looking at me like, "Why are you here? Go home. Go enjoy the evening." And I said,
Yeah.
and I had to pretend that I had something to do and pretend I said, "Yes, I still have a little bit more, and I'll go." But actually, I was just learning English, German, translating the documents.
I
But
also
yeah, that's
witnessed this.
something I
Yeah.
had to learn.
I also witnessed
Mm.
this yesterday, like one of my colleague, she doesn't have thing to do, and then my boss asked her to go back earlier, and then she was shocked. Because it's like maybe her feeling told her I'm not supposed to leave early, and then another colleague come in is like, we still not here. Also, it's like boss already telling you can go home earlier. Is this still stress and surprise and like, oh, can I really go? Yeah, you can go.
Yeah. And how about bad experiences? Any stories to share about that?
You mean you in office or overall?
Every part of life. Any experience that offended you?
I can start. I had a bad experience during Corona time. This was really shocking for me because I feel really offended. I mean, there was one day I was taking the train and arriving on my way to my office, and when I get off the train, I was still in the train station, and there were a lot of people who are about to enter the train. So as I stepped out, one of the person I couldn't see really who, but probably one of the three people who were standing in front of me actually spit at my face on purpose. Really,
Shit.
I can feel something landed on my face. And that time was the beginning of Corona time, so we didn't have any masks. But I have a feeling that this person did that because I looked like a Chinese. I think that's really bad. And that time it was everyone doesn't really know what corona is, but everyone knows that it's dangerous. And so when that person spit on me, I was so afraid. I immediately took some disinfectant and then rub on my face immediately because it's saliva. I mean, it's infectious.
Yeah.
And it went into my eye as well. But then I didn't think so much, and then I put too much disinfectant, and then like it was the
Burning.
alcohol was burning on my face. But I
Oh,
felt so hurt that day. I remember
of course.
I went to the office and I was very early, so there was only one colleague who's always there early, and I was sharing with him that what happened, and he was very kind. He was comforting me and say like, no, this doesn't usually happen, because I thought it's normal, or because I didn't know. But he said like, no, this doesn't usually happen, and then what that person did was really not good. And hearing him say this makes me feel comforted, and because I feel like he's voicing out for me, although at that time I didn't do anything to defend myself. This was one of the very bad experience that I had, and throughout that 2 weeks, I saw two people who spit at me. Yeah, but of course, thank goodness, the other two times they are from a distance.
So
But
it didn't go on you.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
it didn't. It was like from maybe 500 meters not away. So, but they were aiming at me. And I think, yeah, those are the very sensitive period of time. I don't think it happened usually, since those are the only experience that I had. It was during the corona period. Although we are not like Chinese, but no, they don't know. So they always
Yeah.
throw conversations like that. There's even one neighbor who was screaming at me and my housemate, asking us to go back to our country, and it's all our fault.
What?
It's all our fault that Corona happened. We were trying to explain, but even so, I think that it's not about the country or what. Nothing. No one should be blamed. So
Yeah.
and I wasn't angry at the whole population. It was just like these few people who are very offensive.
Mm.
I actually don't know how to split. I was thinking if you sleep back, will it be like a split wall or something? Because I cannot. I cannot. Wait, I don't know how they can split like so far away.
But it
Yeah.
was a guy that spit at you?
The first one, I think it's a woman, but
Oh.
I don't remember, but it's not like a normal working person. I don't know how to
Mm.
explain it. It seems like it's a very angry person, I can say.
Mm.
But I didn't voice out. I think that's maybe one of the reasons I felt sad, that is I didn't do anything to stop it.
Mm. Yeah. Well, maybe moving on to a lighter topic. Any culture shocks when it comes to food, maybe?
Yeah. Before moving to Germany, I didn't know Matt this thing, the raw pork. And then
Mhm.
I was refused to try actually. Here I met my boyfriend, and then he introduced meat back to me. And I was like, actually it wasn't that bad. At first I was like, I'm scared, but it turned out very good and I love it. So this
Ah.
is one of the things that I would take maybe with portion, and then yeah, one at least once a month I think.
What is it called again? The right?
Net portion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
the raw
husband did
pork.
it too. They put raw minced pork on the bread, and then they sprinkle some salt
Onions.
and pepper and top raw onions. Have you tried it? Yeah,
I've never tried, no.
and it's still a culture shock for you.
Yeah.
Something like it's yeah, but you definitely try the beef tartare here, right? That's I love it.
No.
No, okay, come
Can
to
you accept raw food?
I can eat raw food. So I think I will be open to trying it, but I don't know. I've never heard of it. Did they have it in Dessau as well?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Especially in railway, they
Never.
always sell it
Yeah.
at the counter. But you
Okay.
probably see it and didn't try it. It's on a brochure and it's pinkish color, very fresh raw meat.
Okay.
And they even sell it in the refrigerator. If you open it where all the mincemeat are, there's one pack that actually says met. It means that you can eat raw. But I think a lot of us use those to cook. And then
I
we are
see.
wondering why are there seasoning inside. Yeah. It's actually quite tasty.
Okay.
I don't really like the pork one, but I love the beef one.
Okay.
I was telling my mom was like shocked. Are you okay? Are you sure it's safe? So you're gonna have diarrhea. It's not good. You have to eat something like cooked food. Yeah, she cannot accept.
In Cantonese, there's this saying that say "cai lei sik sang chu yok," meaning that sentence means that you are giving this person raw pork meat. I'm putting raw pork. I'm treating you raw pork meat, and that's the idiom to describe that you're putting the blame on someone.
Oh no.
So when my husband's friend visited us, and then we were trying to let them try some good new specialty in Germany, and then we were saying like, nah, here is some raw pork mincemeat. That's a joke.
What is your favorite dishes in Germany?
I have to say that I don't have one.
Really? No, there are so many.
What are your favorite ones?
I would say I there are so many. I like grilled haxe, and then I also
Okay.
like Rinderrouladen.
Okay.
Yeah. And fricadilla also good. Actually, it's just a pork ball or chicken ball, but it tastes good.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think.
your boyfriend introduced you to a lot of good German food.
Yeah, I love Rina Raden so much, and also they make good enter.
I remember you share with me once that your boyfriend made that from scratch, right? The
Rina
liver.
Raden,
That's not easy.
yeah,
It
not
takes many
easy.
hours.
Have to roll the pork as well, the beef as well. Yeah.
I love
Mm-hmm.
the Gruner saucer here in Frankfurt. It's green sauce, they call it, that's made out of 7 different herbs. And then they blend it together so that sauce actually tastes very fresh and um, a little bit of the herb taste, but it tastes really good. So usually people eat
Mm.
with the very traditional one. They boil. It's funny. They boil 4 eggs, cut into halves, and then you just put the green sauce on top. But I never
Mm.
order that. I usually order the schnitzel, which is like the pork chop, and then to dip with the green sauce.
I have to try that. But actually, I just thought of one. There's a thing in Baden-Württemberg called Maultaschen. I don't know if you.
Ah,
I
yeah.
know, I love it.
Yeah, yeah,
Tasha.
okay. That is nice. It reminds me of dumplings.
Yeah,
Mm,
something like dumplings, but like
Yes.
pasta dumplings.
Mm.
yeah. Sometimes it have spinach inside, or spinach has fish castle. And then
Yeah.
I think for in terms of food culture in Germany, they are healthier. I share with my mom. Um, and then we also discuss why German they live longer. Like my boss, they still have mom.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
Mm.
even our colleagues like my mom's age, they still have mom.
Mm.
Then after that, we come up in a conclusion maybe because of diet. They are
Mm.
mostly low carb, I would say, and they eat a lot of salad and vegetable. They love
Mm-hmm.
salad culture. Usually, you can have a salad buffet in a breakfast buffet. There's a salad buffet counter. It's very normal.
Mm.
So
It's also the lifestyle, and here everyone is always moving, walking a lot, hiking,
Mm-hmm.
cycling.
And I think because you have a well-balanced life here, like you're not just focused on work, so you do get to leave work early and then focus on your private life. I think a lot of things contribute to longevity here.
Mhm.
yeah. So if you
Mm.
want to live longer, move to Germany.
Yeah.
The dating culture, do you think there's a very big difference? You had a boyfriend before in Malaysia and then now in Germany. Do you notice any huge culture shock or like culture difference?
I'm not sure if this is culture different or just their character. I think here the people um like this idea you love yourself first, only love the others. So when it's not very selfish, it's just they prioritize their own feelings first, and then after that they consider in the relationship. Yeah, it comes to me quite often when we have conflict. And sometimes I will think, oh, maybe you are not thinking of my feeling, but we usually talk it out loud. We discuss it, and then I realize because he also has feeling, he has to take care of his feelings first, only care of me. I think this is most. I mean, most of people here they are like this. I would say it's totally like Asian because the girl will force the guy to do anything for them, forcing you, hey, you don't love me if you don't do this to me. For me, yeah. But I would say having a relationship with German, you have to respect each other. Yeah. And they are very calm. And also, I heard this kind of story from other person. So they already had 10 years relationship. And because the guys got a job in US, and then they just end the relationship like that because she cannot be the future anymore. It's not because she maybe she cannot get a job in US. So it's like no purpose that she following the guy to US. So they decided to end the relationship. 10 years. So I mean it's very hard. Maybe in Asia culture you find 1,100 way to be together. You don't even care about the outcome. It's just because we are couple. We have to stay together. Yeah.
No, but I think this one not really culture wise. I guess also depending on individual, right? Some think very rationally, and some can be emotionally. Yeah, it's very depending on who the person is and what they prioritize on. I definitely cannot do that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe. And another thing is like they don't simply make promises. Even though they feel like 0.00001 they cannot make it, they just telling you I cannot make it. I think most of the German they are J person. Like the INFP, this kind of thing. I think most of the German they are J. And me, I'm P person. I just do things, follow my feelings. But then they are J person, most of
Do you
them.
think so? Do you think really like everyone is? Could it be like the whole population is just?
German are forcing us to be J person. I feel that way. You have to plan ahead. My colleague, she planning to Canada next year. She already apply off, like, walao, and asking everyone, am I okay living in this day, even though it's like June next year? They're making plans ahead, so you have to be J person, that kind of thing.
Maybe it's the protocol here that is train everyone to be planning in advance.
Good point. Something to think about. I never thought about that.
And according to my experience, I think German guy, they are very shy. If you are a very active ladies, you have a lot of advantage for Tyler because they are too shy. They cannot get your signal. You have to tell them, okay, I'm interested in you. I like you. I want to be together with you. Otherwise, they will just okay, maybe you do this. It's because we are friends. That kind of stuff. Yeah, and then you have to tell them clearly. No, I want you to be my boyfriend.
You are speaking for Michelle only, right? You haven't dated all the German guys yet.
Actually, I date quite a few before Michelle.
Oh,
They are very respectful. They even request, oh, can I hold your hand, something like that. They ask before they do. Yeah, so this is like German.
Seems like you met a lot of gentlemen in Germany.
Yeah.
that's a good
Yeah.
thing.
I thought that they are always like that. That's why I have this kind of impression towards German guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe this will kick off a whole new episode of its own. The dating culture in Germany.
Actually, I use Tinder, if I can say this. No.
It's up to you.
Yeah. I use Tinder, and then me and my boyfriend currently we discuss a lot because he didn't have much match, and then I have a lot, and then he always complain, and then we discuss this topic also. Is it because I'm a minority here, like Asian woman in Tinder? They said you have a very high ranking in dating culture here, and or don't know,
Interesting.
yeah.
Ah. Or maybe because it's because you are also quite good looking and good showing good pictures.
Don't know. Maybe we can discuss next time. And then yeah, he also said most of his match also from Asia.
Yeah, you never know.
Maybe next time I can find a Asian guy who live in Germany to share their feelings using the dating apps here in Germany. I'm actually curious.
Let's do this challenge to end today's podcast. It's called the Did You Know Challenge. So we're gonna share one thing that we think that others wouldn't know about living in Germany.
I think one thing is that you're not allowed to wish someone happy birthday before their birthday.
And you have to say like, did you know?
Did you know that you are not allowed to wish someone happy birthday before their actual birthday because they believe that it's bad luck?
I say, did you know that you are not allowed to stand on a bike lane?
Yeah.
Have you gotten scolded several times?
A lot, especially in Berlin. And I'm having my bike. I actually cycling very slow. And then the people behind me, like, schnell up with her. You are not supposed to cycling that slow here in Berlin.
Do you know that if you cross the red light here, there's a difference between when you cross the red light when it's red, right in front of the traffic light, and when you cross the red light when you are like more than 500 meters away from the traffic light when it's red.
Explain. I don't understand.
Meaning that you will get fined if you like immediately and you're standing by the traffic light, you're seeing it as red and then you cross it. But
Okay.
if it's like you are further away from the traffic light, you can still see the traffic light, but you cross the road, then you won't get fined.
Okay.
Okay.
Seems like you guys didn't know.
No, I did not know.
Yay! But fact check everyone, I don't know the exact distance.
We should have a cultural series episode 3, 4, 5.
I think we definitely will with different people. I feel like so many people have different stories to share for sure. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was really fun to discuss culture shocks. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on Navigating New Ground. We hope today's conversation gave you some insight, support, or just a reminder that you're never alone on this journey.
If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a comment, and share it with someone who might need it. You can find and follow us on Spotify, Instagram, and Apple Podcasts. Till next time, take care.
Ciao.